Hello, wonderful listeners, and welcome to Boomy and the Ham, the podcast where our sports conversations will make you feel like you are losing brain cells. I'm Ham, your host, and I'm thrilled to have you join us for another amazing episode of Boomy and the Ham. And here we go. Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 3 of Boomy and the Ham. I am joined by my gracious co-host, Boomy. And we are also joined by our executive producer, Jesse Basunia. Today we are going to be recovering the NBA recap. Dallas advancing, Knicks get bounced, like I said was going to happen. Nuggets and Wolves are happening now in a tight game. We're going to go over NHL recap, NFL rookie minicamp, the schedule, some retirements, and some controversial speeches that were out over the past week from a kicker, which is kind of questionable, and then NCAA finally coming out. So let's start with Jesse's team, the beautiful Dallas Mavericks. Jesse, how are we feeling?
Yes. Oh, we are celebrating in Dallas. There are so many things
That
to
was
look forward to
that was a crazy
in the
ending.
coming week. It was, and I'm so proud of the boys. We're down 17 points at one point in the third quarter, and to just keep your heads up and keep the main thing the main thing. They rallied and they came back and won it by a clutch free throw sesh by PJ Washington, which was really ironic
Wait,
considering how Dallas shot free throws in the series,
well, what's crazy too is he ended with like 9 points, but I mean,
and they were
two,
all in like the last 10 minutes.
yeah, 2 minutes. The last two shots. I mean, he went to go shoot three. He made two of them. He could have made the third, but he knew he couldn't let them get an inbounds play, so he missed it on purpose. Fucking, I mean,
Yes,
200 IQ
smart.
move. He just showed up when he needed to. And it was amazing to see.
He did. Sometimes that's all it comes down to is you could not do anything all game. You can just ride the wave, and then when your team needs you the most, that's when you come through. You're poised, right? Your composure is grade A, and you deliver. And now the Mavs are looking forward to facing whoever comes out of this game, which looks like it's going to be the Timberwolves. I don't know. They're up 10 points right now with 3 minutes left to go, but
Hmm.
it should be exciting. I know I'm excited.
Yeah. I mean, Kyrie and Luca, they did it again. They are just pretty much an unstoppable duo right now. I mean, 29 and 22 points. I mean, Derek Jones Jr. also had 22. Very good stat line from him. Um, it
Yeah,
that
and
team is
other people are stepping up too. That's the big thing.
well, and
Talk
what
about PJ Washington having a great series.
the most impressive thing about those three guys is they all played over 40 minutes, which
Yeah,
is when you have three
that is true.
guys who can play 40 minutes a game and give you over 20 points, be very efficient, give you over 20 points. Luca got a triple double, which is no surprise. When you have three guys who could do that, it is very hard to stop. Doesn't matter who you're playing.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree. And there was Derek Lively, rookie out of Duke,
Mm-hmm.
he was unstoppable in the paint. I mean, he had like 15 rebounds.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
had a double double of his own, but the team, it was definitely a team effort. I want to say.
Yeah. No, for sure. So, Jesse, how are you feeling for the Mavericks, either having to face the Nuggets or the Timberwolves? Do you like your chances, or are you kind of who would you rather see
I
in
mean,
the Western Conference Finals?
yeah, I'd be lying if I said we have it in the bag. I mean, either one. I think, um, I think I would rather see Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a knock on them at all, but Denver has been there, done that multiple times. They have
Hmm.
that championship DNA. So I think we kind of level the playing field with Minnesota. It's more it'll come down to who wants it more.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
It's just the experience.
and the experience as well. Yeah, I'll say give me Minnesota. I like our chances better against them, but it's not going to be an easy feat either.
I knew you
So
were a smart man, Jesse. I knew you were a smart man.
well, I mean, you're just stating the obvious.
Should
I don't know.
we
Yeah,
um
that's a perfect take, dude. I think either way, you're gonna have your hands full going in the Western Conference Finals. But if I were you, I'd rather Minnesota because they're young and they're more athletic and energetic, but they also have not been in a big spot like this. So
who's
you might
but
see a guy like Anthony Edwards or even guys who've been there or have been in the league a while, like Carl Anthony Towns. You might see them, crumble under the pressure.
but who's am I like who I know Luca's probably gonna guard, or actually probably Kyrie's gonna guard Ant. Who's guarding Gobert and stopping him from getting like 20 rebounds a game?
That's why Derek Lively's gonna be put to the test, I think.
Yeah, I
No.
think that I don't think scoring like or offensive firepower is like your guys' big issue. It's just going to be offensive rebounds and defense. And I honestly think
Yeah.
that's where I mean I agree with you. I would rather play Minnesota than the Nuggets, but I just think that also I kind of like my chances a little bit more against the Nuggets if I was you guys because um what's his fucking Michael Porter,
Hmm.
he's playing like hot dog shit this series. And he's been playing like hot
Well,
dog
he hit
shit
two
the
big
whole.
threes before, but
Yeah, but I mean he okay. He's not playing like himself, like two big threes in the whole series is okay, whatever. I don't know. I just think it's going to be a defensive and rebounding nightmare for the Mavs if you have to play the Timberwolves.
Yeah, the guys in the paint really need to be more proactive, and that's kind of a combo with Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively. They're going to need to be proactive because I've seen plenty enough against not just the Thunder, but um, you know, throughout the season is they sometimes they'll get lazy in the paint and they'll just wait for the ball to come to them. They won't go up and get it, and that's something you can correct. You just need to be more aggressive.
Mhm.
But we can't. Every possession is crucial. When it comes to playoff basketball. So you need to get as many possessions as you can, and that comes with being aggressive in the paint.
Yeah. So Boomy, you brought up something interesting earlier. You said you're smart to Jesse. You called him a smart person. Let's talk about really stupid people. And that's the Knicks fans.
shut your whore mouth.
Um, so
We're not stupid.
what happened?
Injuries destroyed us. I mean,
What
I think the
happened?
Yeah.
I think the last time that we this podcast was right after game two or like
Yeah,
three.
we saw this coming. We literally said like
Well, yeah,
if you guys were healthy, this probably wouldn't be a series. And then like you guys had I don't know, maybe yeah, you had like five
everyone went
players
down.
on the team at one point. I think
Well,
Patrick
I think it was
Ewing.
after game three. OG went down. I think was a game. Well, Mitchell Robinson was already out at that point. Randall was already out at that point. Bogdanovich was already out at that point. So you lost already going into the playoffs. You lost three. Then you lose Anunoby, and then who was it? Oh, Hart last or Friday night tears his abdominal or does something to his abdominal, like in the middle of the play, and he tried to tough it out, which you know, fucking good on him not being a prima donna. Like, oh my god, my pussy hurt. Ugh.
Mhm.
Like good on him for fighting through it. But at that point, like Tom Thibodeau should have seen that and be like, "Yo, we ain't winning this game if Josh Hart is like can't even grab rebounds because he can't move. Like,
Well,
get him out.
I mean, Burke showed up and DiVincent,
Yeah, DiVincenzo.
yeah, DiVincenzo, thank you. They showed up. Brunson didn't. I
Well,
mean,
Brunson, are you talking about tonight? Because Brunson
yeah,
like broke his
yeah.
hand, I think, like in the third quarter or the
Oh,
fourth quarter or
really?
something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, he got pulled.
Yeah, I mean, that's
It
just so tough.
it was a
Like,
rough one, man. I mean, Knicks fans along. I mean, we're always try to stay positive, but
you know what you could say positive
and
about?
what?
So if you Google New York Knicks, know what one of the first pictures is that's like pops up under the basketball team?
Bing bong.
No, it's LeBron James in a New York Knicks jersey. So
Ugh.
that's something to look
No,
forward to.
thank you.
Him and Bronny.
No,
I mean, hey,
no,
he doesn't get
thank
hurt.
you. Ugh. No, I don't want to deal with his fucking
What
GM
you
bullshit.
get two head coaches. You get your head coach
There's a
and you
reason
get Le
why he didn't come to New York in 2009, dude, or whatever year it was.
Why's that?
There's a reason. It's because the GM or the fucking owner, whatever his name is, one everybody hates. I can't think of his fucking name off the top of my head.
Here, let's
Oh my
keep
god.
going. I'll look it up.
Either way, yeah, it was, like he didn't like. I'm sure LeBron probably wanted some say in like everything that goes on, and the right head coach and
Is it
the
Gerson
heck. I mean,
Rosas?
no. I can't believe I forgot his name. He used to own Optimum. Fuck, what
Wait, you're
was his
talking
name?
about the
Either way,
G Donnie Walsh?
Donnie Walsh. I think it's
Okay,
Donnie Walsh.
okay. Donnie.
Wait, no, is it Donnie
Wait,
Walsh?
he
I
said
don't fucking
general
remember, dude.
manager of 2009 through 2010.
Maybe it wasn't Jeremy. Who's the owner of the fucking Knicks?
James Dolan?
Dolan. Thank you, fucking Dolan. That's who I'm thinking of. Not the GM and fucking owner. Yeah, LeBron didn't like the fucking owner. Probably he wanted a little bit more control,
Is that when
especially
you guys
you
still had
know.
Carmelo Anthony
Uh,
in 2009?
I don't remember if that was. I think he was later. I think he was like 11 or 13 when he first got there. I could be wrong. Maybe. I don't remember.
No, no,
But
he was on the Nuggets.
yeah, I was gonna say I think it was much later
I mean,
because
damn, that would
we
have
really didn't
been
have anybody. We
Carmelo
didn't really have
Anthony in his
anybody at the
prime
time.
and LeBron. That would have been better than
Eh,
Wade. That would have been better than Wade and LeBron.
LeBron or Carmelo is just a scorer, man. It would have been
But
just he would have been Cleveland 2.0, but a little bit better.
that's what, I mean, they won a championship.
What? Oh yeah, in Cleveland because he had Kyrie too, and Kevin Love. The Knicks had nobody that year.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're talking scoring, I mean, prime Carmelo
Oh,
was
I
fucking
mean, yeah,
nuts. Like you
yeah.
give,
It would have been
yeah,
definitely a great show, but would have been enough for a championship? Who knows?
yeah.
I mean, we could play what if all we want,
That's what I love
but
about
yeah,
being a LeBron fan. It's just like you could sit and, in my mind, LeBron has like 13 rings. You know?
yeah. But I like what the Knicks are doing right now, and I don't think LeBron would fit with Thibodeau. You know what I mean?
No, yeah,
Because
no, for
Thibodeau,
sure.
because Thibodeau, as much as I would love to have, maybe a younger LeBron play 45 minutes a game and be healthy all year and all this crap, I think it's just too much of ego. I think you got LeBron saying like, I'm the man, and then Thibodeau's like, fuck you, it's my way or the highway. I play my guys how I want. Fuck you.
But you could get
I think
that.
Thibodeau would be fired in
You
like a
could
month.
get all that you're asking for in the draft.
Drafting a guy who averaged 4 points at USC, has a heart condition,
There's nothing wrong.
and shouldn't. For the sake of his career, this boy should go back to college. Just go back to
He
USC
dropped
or even
13 in the
transfer.
NBA debut thing in the
Yeah,
draft
he
thing.
also went like 1 for 3 behind the arc, and every scout is saying don't touch him, or if the Lakers don't take him, no one will. And they're saying he's too short. They're basically giving him the Steph Curry treatment, but at least Steph Curry had a sick jump shot to make up for everything. Because Steph Curry, they said he's too short to be a two, but he doesn't have the handles to be a one, or he doesn't have the mentality to be a one. I don't remember what the initial thing with Steph was, but that's basically what they're saying with Bronny. But Bronny doesn't have that like lights out attribute or skill.
I think you're just a hater.
No, I'm being
Mm,
100%
I don't
real
know
right
about
now.
that. I think you're a hater.
I would love to see LeBron James' kid do well. Like I don't wish anything upon the LeBron James family. I hope LeBron fucking plays with all three of his kids. Good for him. Like that's a great achievement. Like cool. I mean, longevity for him and good for his genes. Like great. But like Bronny's career, he's gonna go right to like the D League or the fucking G League or whatever fucking league. Like he is not gonna be ready to play against these fucking teams, man. He's not good enough yet. Not good enough yet. He's still very young, and you can make him good.
I know. I'm just giving you shit.
No,
I
I know you are,
100% agree
but
that Bronny should go
I'm
back
getting
to
my real
college
emotions out, son.
because I think the problem, and I guess this is kind of like side tangent topic. I think the problem with kids coming out of college is like you see Zion Williams, um, Wemby didn't, but like Europe League is so different. But like Zion is like one that comes to mind. He was in he was only in college for like what, a year or two? I think one and was
A
he one
year
and
when
yeah,
he was one and done.
yeah. I don't think their bodies are ready for the next leap, right? Because
Yeah.
like you need to mature and like your body needs to catch up to that level of play. So I think kids should be playing like, and we're gonna start seeing it more now because of the NIL deals and stuff. But kids need to stay in college more so their bodies can acclimate to college basketball for 3 or 4 years.
Oh yeah.
You know, some guys, if they were in COVID, they could have got 5, but that's kind of a thing of the past. But 3 or 4 years stay in college, really develop your game, really develop your body, and make sure you're physically ready to go. I don't think it's necessarily like a mental thing, right? Because you see Anthony Edwards come in, he kills it. When Zion's healthy, he comes in and kills it. Um, I mean, Kyrie, he was one and done as well. He came in and killed it. But
Mm-hmm.
I think guys, it's not the mental, it's just it's like way physically demanding on such an immature body. And like people are like these guys are athletic freaks, but how they're not immature bodies, but they are like their ligaments and their joints, right? Like that's been Zion's whole thing is he can't
Oh
he
yeah.
you
Well,
know
I mean, even just think about like just the seasons in general, just based on that. Forget the competition for now. Think about the seasons. I mean, they play what, 30 something games
yeah.
a year, 31 games a year, 33
Yep.
games a year.
Yep.
Their times are only what, two 20-minute halves, so they're playing 8 minutes less.
Yep.
Their playoffs is what, 4 games, 5 games?
Yeah, one and done. I mean,
Yeah, one and done, no series. Like, I
yeah.
mean, these guys are, I mean, they're kids. You don't want to, get them
Which you could
fully into the NBA,
yeah, and then
but
in the NBA you could play upwards of 100 plus games. If
oh
you
yeah,
went to the
easily,
playoffs and
easily.
yeah, every game was a game 7 and so on and then the finals, right? But
Yeah.
you're hitting 100 games and you're adding 8 minutes per, you know, 8 minutes of additional play time in each game. So it's like,
Yeah, forget about even overtime.
yep,
Like, what if it
yeah,
goes into overtime? Now you're
exactly.
adding more minutes, right?
Yep, yep.
So I 100% agree with you that they're 18-year-old kids and they're playing these games and maybe their bodies just aren't like. Obviously, you have the exceptions like the LeBron James coming out of high school where physically he was fine. He just had to tune his skills a little bit.
And Kobe.
You had Kobe, right? Like, but if you even like look at Dwight Howard, Dwight Howard had the physical tools, like his body, I think was fine. He needed to fix his tools. So you have all these guys that might have the physical thing to withstand the year, but they just fine tune their skills. But on the flip side, most of the successful guys you see now are like either the top three picks where they're just studs, or they're like the guys who stayed in for 3 or 4 years, tuned up their shit, and got their bodies ready, and they were ready to fucking hit the ground running in the NBA.
Yep. Yep.
Or their Big East. I mean, the Big East is fucking ill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking Big East schools, baby.
So Jesse, kind of going back, your wish was granted. You will be playing the Timberwolves.
Yeah,
It's
Let's
yeah.
give
final.
let's give our so we got Timberwolves versus Mavericks, which is awesome, and we got the Celtics
Celtics
versus the
versus Pacers.
Pacers. So let's give
Yeah.
some predictions real quick before we move off from the NBA. So what do you guys have for? Let's start with Knicks or no, sorry, Knicks are they're out. I forgot.
Dick. Dick.
Let's start with the Pacers and Celtics. Who do you guys have in that series?
I'm gonna go with. I think Boston has the talent. They have the rest on their side. They have pretty much all the things pointing towards them. However, I think this is going to be a longer series than it needs to be. I think if
Mm-hmm.
you look at the teams, I think Boston should close this out in five,
Mm-hmm.
but I think this is going to go to 6 or 7. So I'm going to say Boston in 7, and I think the Pacers are going to ride their mojo into that and make it a very good series. And I think you're going to see the beginning of the collapse of Boston and the choke of Boston of Jason Tatum and company. So I'm going Pacer. I'm sorry. I'm going Boston in 7.
Jesse, before you go,
Okay.
I'm gonna put myself on blast here really quick.
All right.
Freezing cold take by me last week. I said Cavs in 7, and then they go out there and get mollywopped. 2 games in a row. So that was on me. I'm a stupid fan. I don't know what I'm talking about. So, um,
Cotton-headed Nitty Muggins.
And that's the premise of the podcast.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you're,
So I mean,
Yeah,
nobody should be making wagers or like listening to our analysis on games because we just don't really know what we're talking about. Um,
can't get worse than Skip Bayless.
yeah, that dude's a fucking retard. But anyways,
yeah.
um, let's go on to Jesse. Okay, what do you have out of the East?
All right. I I'm gonna give Boston all the credit, and I'm gonna say Boston in a clean sweep. Boston in 4.
Wow.
Yeah, they've won all their series 4-1,
I take back what I
and
said about you, bud.
um, that's why it's bold. It's a bold. It's one that's out there.
That might be more stupid
I,
than me saying the Cavs are gonna win in 7.
Hmm.
I mean, Boston is they're a juggernaut.
Yeah, it's gonna fucking
But
happen
aren't
now.
they the
Watch,
best
like
one
Jesse's
of the
gonna be
best
fucking right.
defensive teams in the league? Pacers are like they're more hot right now than they are good, I'd say.
But if we go back to like I think it was our first or second episode, they're hot at the right time. So you don't think they're gonna win
But
one game against the
but
Celtics?
so is Boston.
Yeah.
So they beat the Miami Heat, the reigning conference champions, four to
Yeah, but
one.
Jimmy Butler wasn't playing. So
Yeah,
Mickey
without Jimmy
Mouse.
Butler. Yeah,
Well,
and
do
basically
you think he would have
limping,
made it? You think
limping.
like
Dude, Jimmy Butler lives rent free in all of Boston Celtics players' heads, fans' heads, the owner's head. Jimmy Butler is like Excalibur when it comes to playing the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, and if he would have rocked his My Chemical Romance hair, dude,
Mm-hmm.
oh
Yep.
my
If we
God,
got Goth Jimmy
Boston
Butler, it would
Boston
have
would have
been
been
it would have
buried.
been Heat in 3. The Celtics would have just
Yeah,
conceded after the third game.
yeah. I mean, Miami barely limped into the playoffs. I mean, they were in the playing game, barely survived, and you know, if they would have had the rest, maybe they would have been good. But who knows?
I think it's they just
They
were
had a rough
healthy.
season. Yeah, I think they had a rough season. Injuries killed them. Shit happens. That's the beauty of sports, man. You never know.
Injuries?
What?
Injuries are the beauty of sports. Is that what you're saying?
No, no, no. The beauty of sports is like you never know.
Uh-huh.
Anything can happen.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing gets me going like a torn ACL in the
On on
playoffs. Believe
on
me.
9/11 or
Yeah,
a
nothing.
torn
Achilles.
Achilles
Yeah,
on
torn Achilles
9/11.
on
That
9/11.
gets you spun up, doesn't it?
Yeah, almost made me want to drive a jet into the fucking Freedom Tower.
Okay. Jesse, keep going. Sorry.
All right, no, that's that. That'll be my bold prediction is that Celtics sweep the Pacers.
I will. I'm gonna have to agree with Boomy on this one. I'm not like have anything against the Celtics. I think they are the better team. I just think that it's gonna go way longer than it should, and I think that Indiana is very um they're hot right now. They have a very young core that can hang with the best of them. Clearly, they're in the Eastern
Hell
Conference
yeah.
Finals. So I think it's going to go to 7. Should it go to 7? No. I think I agree. Once again, it should go to 5 or 6, maybe 6. But if I had to put money on it, it would be Celtics in 7 or Celtics in 5 winning 4-1. Those, I mean, I don't see a game 6. I just think it's going to go to 7. Um, I don't, and it's, like I said, it's not a knock against the Celtics. I just something about that team is they're going to be, you know, Brown and Tatum are going to have a huge workload to hang with that young Indiana Pacers team, and I can see them wearing them out, games 2, 4, 6, where they kind of skate away with a 1 point or 2 point victory and take it to game 7. So I
Yep.
agree with Boomy. I think it's just going to be a long series. But I mean, hey, that's gonna
Yep.
be that. I would rather have two conference finals where both games go to game 7, because that is like what sports moments are made of, is the game 7 winding down to the last 30 seconds, and
Yep.
everything's on the line to get to that point, and guys are just scrapping to get to the finals. So
And we didn't even mention the more important thing about Boston is Porzingis doesn't even come back till game 3, the earliest.
yep. Mhm.
So you might see Indiana sneak one of those games.
Sneak one
Will
or
they? Who
two. I mean,
sneak one or two of those games at in
yeah.
Boston? Maybe not because Boston fans will be in it, but if if without Porzingis, who's been stellar for them when he's on the court, and he's not on the court for the first two, maybe 3 games, maybe Indiana steals one at home, and then maybe that changes the momentum.
Which, yeah, I mean, if Indiana could go out there and punch them in the mouth and steal game 1,
Oh yeah,
that would take a lot of wind out of their sails, and definitely
oh yeah,
that momentum that they're on, that you talked about, Jesse, I could see that completely shifting into Indiana's favor. Will they win back to back? I mean, no, but also Minnesota did in Denver, which was a huge surprise for everybody. Um, so yeah, I agree. If since Porzingis is out till game 3 at the earliest, and that's evaluating him, so we're probably talking more game 4 or 5. If he comes back game 5 and they're down like 2-1, or sorry, 3-2, it is Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have to play absolutely lights out to force that game 6 to get Porzingis back in that game. But that's assuming he
hmm
doesn't come back till game 5. But I think they need Porzingis to come back, and he's just a amazing defensive presence that, you know, rim protection, has very good court vision. He's going to be able to help facilitate and take that load off of Tatum. So yeah, we'll see. This is definitely, I didn't predict this. Um, I'm pretty sure I had fucking I'm pretty sure I had Cavs and like Pacers going. So
yeah, right.
we'll see. It's that's an interesting one. And I will say this too before we move on to Minnesota and Dallas preview. I am actually really happy with all 4 of these teams. I would not mind seeing any one of these teams win NBA Finals.
Yeah, I want it coming out of the West personally. so
Yeah, I mean
so I
you're
don't want to I
you're
don't want to see Boston or
yeah,
Indiana win
yeah,
shit. So
yeah, you can't. I mean,
go West.
especially
Yeah,
Boston as a New York fan for
living
sure.
up in the Northwest, we don't want Boston to win either.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only Boston team I'll ever root for is the Red Sox because they make the Yankees' lives living hell. Maybe not in the last 10 years, but they're still a rival. I will support Boston Red Sox. That's it.
But you're a what are
Mets
you for
fan.
a Mets
Mets fan.
fan? Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
fuck the Yankees.
Minnesota and Dallas. That is also, I think, gonna be a banger of a series. I like I said earlier, I do think that Minnesota is gonna give Dallas trouble on the defensive side and the just overall size side. But Jesse, how are you feeling now that it's set in stone?
Ooh, it's tough. I think it will be a game 7 series.
Okay.
But it's hard to say. It could go either way. It's really hard to say. There's no clear favorite to win it. I think. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if the odds were like you know -100 each.
Mm-hmm.
50-50 split. But I'll go for the hometown team and say Mavericks in 7. If Mavericks can, like I said, if we can be more aggressive in the paint and we clean up our free throws, right? Like that's all that the Mavs should be practicing from now until game 1 Wednesday is just shoot free throws one after the other. I think this we should be able to steal the series.
Do you think that are you saying that because you think free throws is going to be like the deciding factor of the series? You don't think you can, have a.
For sure. I don't think there are going to be any blowouts.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There might be like one or two that will just get away from either team. Like I can't say which team's going to blow out the other,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, looking at the Thunder for example, we could have ended it last game if we made the 11 free throws that we missed and lost the game by like a couple points. Um, so I'll say that those are my criteria to come out victorious in the West and face whoever comes out of the East in the finals.
Okay. Boomy, what do you think about the West? What do you want to dive a little deeper into the Minnesota Dallas matchup?
Oh yeah. So I think Minnesota has this energetic defensive, just smash mouth almost basketball that they play, and it's definitely a great system. I've it's a great story to see Ant Edwards being like that leadership role, that emotional presence in that team. Dallas, I think, is a lot of superstardom. You have Luka, you have Kyrie, you got a pretty good bench going on there. Um, it's definitely going to be a good series. I think it's going to be Minnesota in 7. Sorry, Jesse, but I think it's going to be
That's
Minnesota in
fair.
7.
That's fair.
And the reason why, and it's because I watched Game 7, or what was it? What game was it? Friday? Or no, it was today. Whatever the freaking last game was, whatever the hell it was, Saturday. Um,
The Dallas one,
Oh, for
yeah,
the
yeah,
Yeah, it was Saturday, was it not?
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
Saturday.
Game 6.
Um, Watching Luca play that game, it seemed, and I mean, I didn't watch Dallas all year, so I don't know how he was all year. Maybe it was just a one-time thing. He was too busy looking for calls on things where he didn't even get touched.
Dude, that
You know what
is
I mean?
Luca. Like, here's the I don't.
Like, I don't know if
I'm
it's
not
like
gonna
this
go. I'm not
entire.
gonna go far into it. The double standard, like that people hold LeBron at, is like exactly what Luke is doing. And don't get me wrong, like when LeBron does that and he just sits on the ground looking for calls, it drives me fucking insane. Luca does that on a whole nother level, and it is just like
Yeah,
it is the most annoying. Like he's not going back on defense, like ever. It is the most
well, yeah, but
annoying
even
thing
still,
ever to see.
he'll I think it was on like a rebound, like he wasn't even touched, and like he like threw his whole body back and like pulled up his hands to the ref, like, "Yo, like, what are you gonna call that?" Like I don't know if it's like entitlement, like if he thinks he's because he's this superstar that he needs to get like these LeBron like calls, and if somebody even breathes on him, it's a foul. Like if that's the case, then I think Minnesota is gonna easily win this one. But hopefully I mean, it looked like he made a little bit more adjustments and like kind of shut up for a bit, especially because he got a technical, I think, on that one. But it's just like every time he like with any contact, his hands were up like, yo, what the like, come on. It's freaking basketball, man. Like, yeah, you want the call, you want to like kind of sell it a little bit to get free throws, but not every they're not gonna call a foul on every single play.
Mm-hmm.
So like, just shut up, play the game. I hate to say that because it makes me sound super old, but yeah, I mean like I'm all about that shut up and play mentality, and I think Luca doing that kind of made me take him down a notch. And I think he takes control a little too much when he has another star with him, right? Like he almost kind of like he in the beginning of that game he kind of forced himself into shooting when if he put the ball in the hands of Kyrie a little bit more and watch him drive and facilitate and hit it to guys who are open, which could have been him at one point, right? Like I think he needs to trust his team a little bit more and kind of get that almost like that Popovich kind of mentality of you know one more pass, one more pass, one more pass, open shot, take it, right? I think that's something that's the problem with having like too many big stars is it just becomes an ISO game, and I don't know if that's going to win it, right? But it's just something that I'm going to keep my eyes on when I watch the series. But yeah, I'm going with Minnesota in 7.
I will say Minnesota in 6, and I'm just gonna go back to my previous, um, I'm just gonna go back to my previous statement of I think that it is going to be a defensive nightmare for Dallas, and so I don't see them winning the boards, the offensive boards. I think Minnesota plays way better defense. Um, I think Minnesota in 6. And I also think Anthony Edwards, and also too, like Minnesota is coming off of they have a lot of momentum. They just knocked off the NBA champions, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
they're telling themselves, hey, if we could fucking beat these guys, we could fucking beat anybody. So, I just think that Minnesota is riding high. I think they are way better defensively. And at the same note, like, sure, are they going to go bucket for bucket for, um, or are they going to go bucket for bucket with the Mavs? I mean, maybe. Like, it all depends also what Kyrie and Luka show up. If they're both going to pull off, like, LeBron Kyrie stats where they're dropping 40 each, like, then of course it may go 7. Mavs may end up stealing it, but I don't see that happening. And I think Luka's going to be super frustrated during this series, because he is going to be tested uh, defensively by Minnesota. So I'm Minnesota in 6. No disrespect to Dallas, I think they're a great team. I just don't see them. I just don't see them winning this series.
Yeah, I think the bench is definitely not going to need to play a huge role in it because I think Luca and Kyrie have had their off games this past series against the Thunder. So it will most likely happen, against Minnesota, and if we win the series in the finals for sure. But if the bench keeps playing the way they did, I think Dallas will be in good shape. And like I can't disagree with you with the Luca thing. I do agree he does look for calls way too many times, and it does frustrate me too, especially when he those 2 seconds that he's complaining to a ref. The other team is already down the field getting
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
their formation going and their play set up, and next thing you know, oh, wide open three. Wow, that could have been prevented if everyone just got back on defense.
And
Yep.
it's the same thing I
So
knock LeBron for. Like he does the same exact thing. And it's just Luka. He needs to just key to the series. Luka has to come out and he has to score 45 points. Like he
Hmm.
has to come out, score 45 points, get right back on defense, stop bitching. And if he does that, like I mean, not even 45 points. If he could give you 35 a night, like we know he can, I think Dallas has a really good shot. But is he going to do that? I don't think so because from what we've
Yeah,
seen from him in the past two series and the end of the regular season, he just was bitching a lot.
yeah. And I can only imagine that Anthony Edwards is going to be the one guarding Luca,
Yeah,
so he's not going to get easy shots.
and not only
So that's
that, and
why.
Anthony Edwards is gonna he's gonna piss him off.
Oh yeah,
Right,
he's going to
he's
be
going to be in
swimming
his
in that head,
ear.
dude.
Yeah, every time he doesn't get a call and he starts bitching to the ref, Anthony Edwards is gonna be right there talking his shit. You know he's going to.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that's why it's even more important that Luca, stops with the drama, right? He focuses on facilitating maybe a little bit more and getting that mismatch of Kyrie probably against Mike Conley.
Mhm.
Mike Conley's great, and I love Mike Conley ever since he was in Memphis. But he's up there in age, so maybe Kyrie is the focal point for this series, and maybe we play a little bit more Kyrie ball than we do Luca ball.
Well, the Mavs
But
may
we'll
have
see.
Kyrie, but the Timberwolves have McDaniels. So I mean, as Anthony
Yeah,
Edwards would say, they have McDaniels. That's the key.
yeah. That boy can jump though.
Yeah.
That boy can jump.
Should we go to NHL now, boys? All
Let's
right, Jesse,
transition, my boy.
You are. We're gonna keep it going with the Dallas teams. Dallas is
Yeah,
city of almost champions. I mean, if let's just say the Mavs
we're
and fucking
three
Stars
three
do it,
quarters 3/4 of the way there.
yeah, you guys could be the city of champions. Aside from we know the Cowboys aren't gonna do shit, but you know,
Yeah, ten
hey,
thousand
Yeah.
days.
yeah, yeah, 10,000 days exactly. The Stars and the Mavs are in their respective conference finals. The Rangers just won one. If Dallas teams, this could be the year of Dallas teams, which would absolutely kill all Philly fans across the world.
Yeah.
Oh, it would destroy him for sure.
Which I love. I mean, I fucking hate
Mhm.
Philly fans. They're like, I hate Packers fans,
Mhm.
but Philly
No,
fans are
Philly fans
literally
are the worst.
Philly fans are the worst. They're just, and they're just the, oh, you don't like us, we don't care. It's like, dude, nobody's fucking talking to you.
They're
You,
also like super violent for no reason.
yeah, mhm,
Like Boston fans are just obnoxious drunks.
yeah,
Maybe you have a couple scrappers, but like Philly like will fight you for your team winning while you're sitting there quietly.
mhm,
Like it's like
yeah,
so stupid.
yeah. I can't stand Philly fans, which I mean, they have had some success, but it's not like they have a Patriots dynasty or the 76ers are winning championships and the Phillies win. They're the fucking city of losers, honestly, if you ask me.
Yeah, good enough
City
to
of
get
second
there, but
place.
not good enough to finish
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
The
Um
city of almost winning it.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like we almost like they get the participation award for almost winning it. Um but great time to be a Dallas fan, honestly. Like you guys are Dallas teams are fucking killing it,
We're still
Congrats.
waiting on Game 7 for the Nucks and the Oilers. See how
Mhm.
who comes out of that one, but we're
Yep.
we're in good shape right now. Like I know, like hockey is not my strong suit, but yeah, I've been doing my research. I've been watching games here and there throughout the season. I've definitely been watching every game in the playoffs so far.
Mhm.
Yeah, we wrap it up in double OT
Yep.
with a clutch top net shot by Duchesne.
I
Um,
think I
no,
think
I'm
our
excited for that too.
I think we're about to get a bunch of credit, boys, because our prediction is coming true. Dallas versus New York. And if that happens, we know fucking puck on this podcast. We're gonna probably rebrand to a hockey podcast.
Hell yeah.
But I think
Yeah,
I don't know.
and I get a new jersey.
I think Vancouver's gonna go. I think Edmonton is probably gonna lose, even though I honestly thought Edmonton was gonna blow Vancouver out of the water this series, but that has not been the case. So I think it's gonna be Vancouver versus Dallas, And then of course we have the Rangers versus Florida, and I think the Rangers are gonna fucking mollywop them. I mean the Rangers are they're just too fucking good. The Rangers are just so good. Um,
Yep.
and then we get the battle of the podcast, Rangers versus Dallas, and I cannot wait to record those. And yeah,
that'll be a good week.
yeah, I think we may have to record after every game just so we can
Do your research now.
yeah, just so we can have some heated debates and just listen to you two scream at each other for an hour and a half.
Yeah, just do 30 minutes every day of just
Yeah.
hockey.
Yep. Just you guys yelling back at, and I'm sitting here with the second pick because Chicago teams. That's our NBA championship. That's our World Series titles. That's our
We live for the draft.
yeah. We live. Chicago fans just live for the draft,
The
and
draft. The
yeah.
draft is
We
our
play
Super Bowl.
we play for the draft.
Well, hey, if Nick
Yeah.
Wright has anything to say about it, shout out Nick Wright. He said Caleb Williams is going to lead the Bears to a Super Bowl this year. So I mean, or on his rookie contract. Sorry. So
Okay. That's a little more believable. A little. I was like, God damn, dude! Like Super Bowl first season. Oof, hold the phone here.
if he does, I'm going. I mean,
I wouldn't expect anything less from you. If I had a rookie quarterback and I had obviously the time and the money to go, and this might be the only
well,
chance
see,
you get
I
to
have the
keep him
time.
alive.
I don't know about the money, but what I'm gonna do is I will just place a
Sell a
wager.
kidney.
Well, yeah, I'll sell a kidney and then I'll place a wager, and I do it every year where I have the Bears win the Super Bowl, and that's
Mm,
enough odds and enough money to get me tickets and like a plane ride to the Super Bowl. My wife can't go; it'll just be me. Um, but yeah, I mean, it'll pay for it. So every year I do this, um, and I mean, I throw $100 away every year, but hey, like me and Jesse have talked about before, if I do it for 30 years, in for the next 30 years, and just one of those hits, I basically pay myself back double. So we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully Nick Wright's onto something that I'm not. I think this is going to be a good NFL season, just not the one we were hoping for. Not the Nick Wright hopeful of going to the Super Bowl. Um,
yeah.
but with that, we go into the rookie minicamp or rookie. What do they call that? Like the
OTA.
OTAs.
yeah the OTAs. Um, fucking Caleb Williams throws a beautiful football. You know what? Kind of side thought too. I guess Justin Fields was a huge fucking dick. Have you guys heard that?
Um, like
About what?
like
So basically, like when Nick Foles was there, like his rookie year, right? I guess like Nick Foles tried to like help Justin Fields, and apparently he just like wouldn't listen and kind of blew him off, and so then they like hated each other, and so there was like some kind of ego in the way, which my thought process is like if you're drafting a quarterback in the top 20, unless you're the Green Bay Packers, or unless he's sitting behind Tom Brady, you probably should start the person. Like especially top 10. If you're drafting a quarterback in the top 10, I think it's like okay, you're a day one starter. And so I think maybe that's the mentality Justin Fields had, but I'm honestly really surprised and I wonder how much weight that this claim holds because I thought the locker room really liked him, and now you have like people in the locker room like Tyreek Stevenson who are kind of like, oh yeah, like having Caleb Williams here is fucking awesome, like immediately, and I don't know,
yeah. So
maybe I
there's a
was,
lot of things that go into that. I mean, you see it all the time where, these rookie quarterbacks come in and it's like, oh my God, this guy, like he's ready to work, he's ready to do this, he's ready to do that. Like you definitely see it a lot. But then also you hear the stories kind of behind the scenes. Like I mean, you saw the interview with Johnny Manziel talking about Brian Hoyer, right?
no.
So like, yeah, I forgot what podcast it was on, but Johnny Manziel was sitting. He's like, yeah, that Browns quarterback room was like it wasn't home to him because he had Brian Hoyer there, who was a veteran who was trying to win the starting job. So when Johnny didn't understand shit, and he was like, "Hey, coach, can we run through this one thing again?" And like Hoyer would be like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you retarded?" Like, and he would be like, "Dude, we're doing this again." And like, then Johnny would be like, "Oh, okay," and then he would just shut up and not know what he was doing, and then it just got to the point where he didn't give a shit no more, right? So it's like you have stories like that, then you have also the stories of teams like the Jets when they had Mike White, and apparently rumor around the mill is um that the locker room wanted Mike White to start that year before he left for Miami. They before they got Aaron Rodgers, like the year before they got him, they wanted Mike White to be the guy, and they were all about Mike White, but the coaches or the GM, whoever, was like, nah, 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 it's Zach Wilson's team, and that kind of caused the divide. So it's like you really don't know what's going on and what's true, what's not, but there's probably some truth to this story where there might have been some ego check with Foles. But wasn't that after Foles won the Super Bowl?
Yeah, he won the Super Bowl, and then I think the next year he went. Big Dick Nick went to Chicago.
Yeah, I think it was a year or two. I think it was 2 years after he won the Super Bowl because I'm pretty sure Philly franchise tagged him. But anyway, but yeah, I think there's probably some way to it because there might have been a an exchange of some kind with maybe Nick Foles was like, hey, you really should be doing it this way because I'm the veteran, you're not, you don't know what you're talking about. So I think there's some way to it, but it's probably not as bad as you might think.
Mhm.
Because if it was bigger, I think if it was worse, probably more would have came out of it.
Mhm. Yeah. True. Like I think we probably would have heard about it earlier, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
not just like a podcast like, "Yo, this fucking guy sucks." Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I agree. I mean, I still love Justin Fields. But I was kind of shocked to hear that that was kind of the um first interaction or, uh first encounter that they had with each other, Nick Foles trying to teach him stuff and he's like, "Nah, fuck you." So I mean, hey, who knows? It could have. But anyways,
yeah,
yeah, Caleb Williams looks fucking amazing. I cannot wait. Looks like Romo Dunze's thing cleared up, so Suicide Watch is we can remove the Suicide Watch. We don't need him anymore. Everything looks good. David Johnson retired. Does anyone know who that is?
yeah.
The old running back.
He was the one that was the D Hopkins trade.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
he had
was
one of the
he was
greatest
the
runs of all time as a running back against the Eagles
Mhm. Yep.
when he was on the Cardinals.
yeah. I
Yep.
think what was he? Did he play like 8 years, 10 years, something like that?
Um. Yeah. He played 92 games, had 4,000 yards, 4 yards a carry, and 39 touchdowns. So I mean,
I think he was
he only
plagued by
played. He only
injuries a
played.
lot towards the
He
end.
only played seven. Wait, 8 years. He only played 8 years.
Oh, wow, I was on the freaking dot, boys. On the
Yeah.
dot, 8 years.
He
But
was
yeah,
number. Was he number 4? And is that what it says? Offensive Rookie of the Year. He
what?
was fourth place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Pretty.
he had a good year because that's with
Yeah.
Arizona.
Yep.
Yeah, that was when he kind of blew up, and I'm pretty sure that was before Kyler, or that was the same year as Kyler.
Mhm.
I don't remember. But yeah, I mean, he was a good back in Arizona. He had those like 2 or 3 like breakout years where it was like, wow, this guy fucks, man. And just the trade to Texans. Texans kind of gave up after giving up fucking Hopkins and the Bill O'Brien situation. So I think he just took too much of a beating, and I think he towards the end he was very injury prone, and
Well, I mean,
I
it's
think that led
it's
to
a running back. I mean,
yeah. I
running
mean,
backs
8 years as a
primes
running back at
are
yeah.
until
I mean, 8 years
26
as a
years
running
old,
back now
right?
is like an eternity.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
But hey, hats off to him for a great career. Um,
Yeah,
he will going on to bigger and better things, hopefully. So, I
yeah. Hopefully leaving with his entire mind and body intact.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly. That's kind of what I was getting at. Like he doesn't go down the Antonio Brown or whoever that fucking linebacker. What the fuck's his name? Who's like just as
Vontez perfect.
no. Oh well, I mean, there's Le'Veon Bell too. Hopefully he doesn't pull a Le'Veon Bell. Um, but yeah, hopefully he's intact, can live a long life, and the CTE monster doesn't get him. Um,
Yeah, or the Beanie Wells stories where he talks about like how chunks of his brain are like on the inside of his skull.
yeah.
I was like,
Um,
hey, when the dude comes out on a podcast and says shit like that, it's like, oof, maybe we should look into safer options.
yeah. Well, they're now allowing the players to wear those like guardian caps or whatever. I'm
Hmm.
curious. I'm curious to see how many people actually wear them.
Yeah, I'm sure there's probably a handful that are going to be quote unquote test subjects and kind of see that. But there's so many variables that go into everything that you just don't
Well,
know.
because like right, like my thing is like offensive or your defensive lineman, right? Hey, everybody wear a
Hmm.
guardian cap because it makes you a little like an inch taller. So the quarterback has to throw over that now, right?
Yeah,
So I think we'll see a lot of the line guys wear them. Um,
yeah. I mean, it's a
I
good
mean,
strategy.
yeah, I mean we'll see. I'm curious to see how that goes. Um, Harrison Butker, he is in the news. Did you did you guys hear about this?
Yeah, I heard via
Heard about
memes
it,
and stuff,
Well,
and
but
he's
I
I
the
didn't
read a
I didn't
quick
listen to the
article.
full speech.
we won't go into it very long because everybody else has covered it and I mean
And it's
we want
politics. Nobody wants to talk about
yeah, nobody
politics.
wants to hear politics. Basically all that happened is he was like the LGBTQ is bad. Women need to stay at home. Men need to stay at home in regards to, don't abandon your family. And Biden is an idiot, which we all have our opinions
Donnie
on.
Trump.
Yeah, we will keep those off here, but yeah, he has the highest selling jersey. So I guess if you just want to sell a fuck ton of jerseys and get a bunch of royalty, just go on there and talk shit about a bunch of people and
Yeah,
call them idiots, and hey, you'll have the highest selling jersey in the NFL. So good on him.
but
As
how
a
come
kicker
Trump doesn't
too.
get a jersey?
Donald Trump probably has a jersey. Probably like number 69 or something too, I would assume. Um,
Yeah, probably.
Alrighty. Well, then that was quick. I just don't want to get into it.
Nah,
Man,
it's too
like
much.
it's just too much shit, and you know, I don't want if people listen to this on YouTube or fucking wherever call us a bunch of fascists, and you're entitled to your own opinion. Good on him for saying what he thought. Part of his religion, this, that, and the other, and that's where we'll end. Um, the NFL had a post that I want to talk about. It says, "Which number one are you picking? Caleb Williams versus Bryce Young."
Are
This is
you
the
fucking
dumbest
kidding me?
fucking post I think I've ever seen in my entire life. And let's just not even go off skill. Like, who are you pick? Like, fucking, the Panthers are a shit organization. Bryce Young doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell. So if I'm, who
Yeah,
am
they
I?
screwed him over.
Yeah, who am I picking? I'm fucking choosing Williams on upside, and honestly, just raw talent as well. Like, isn't Bryce Young like 5'10" or something?
Yeah, he's almost like Drew Brees height. Like he's pretty small.
He's like as tall as what? Uh, Kyler Murray.
Oh yeah,
So there's that. He can't even see over his fucking line. Two, Caleb Williams has a way stronger arm. Three, Caleb Williams is way fucking better looking. I mean, like, the list goes on and on.
yeah, he has better nails,
Yeah, he has way
better
better fucking nails. He has a pink
better man
phone.
thongs.
Yeah, he probably wears banana hammocks. Like, I guarantee you
Yeah,
Bryce Young doesn't wear banana hammocks, which is the deciding
yeah,
factor.
mesh tank tops.
Yeah. He looks like the guy Caleb Williams dresses like the guy off of 50 First Dates in his free time.
I was gonna say Ray from Scary Movie 1, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one too. Um, okay, well, let's wrap this up with some fucking amazing news.
Ooh,
What we've all been waiting for.
hot take.
Drum roll.
NCAA is finally coming out July 19th, or you could pay $7,000 and get to play 3 days early on July 16th. We're
Ooh.
gonna have to start a dynasty. I
Oh,
think,
absolutely.
yeah, we're gonna have to start a dynasty. I'm getting a PS5 just for this game.
Oh,
Um,
perfect. Because
and
I don't know if you before you get into your rant, did you guys have problems on Xbox with EA Sports lately?
I don't know. I don't
Not
I
much.
only have a PC, so I don't know.
Okay. I was gonna say because like I've not been able to play online on my Xbox, so my last hope of online sports gaming is my PS5. So hopefully it works out.
I just can't wait because it says you can have 32 teams. Um,
Ooh,
yeah, dude, it is, and it's also gonna be fun to we can just like talk shit to each
pick
other
the
on the
pick the
podcast.
bottom fucking teams,
Oh no,
bro.
Boise State or University of Idaho is probably who I'm
Yeah,
choosing.
like no Power Five conferences, just like
Yeah,
all.
you have to bring teams up, you know? Because of course if you're
Dude,
fucking playing with like Ohio State or Alabama, like that
yeah,
team is 100% going to just wipe the
yeah,
floor with everybody. So
dude. If we do a dynasty, we gotta go like the scrubby teams.
yeah, like you have to
Like
choose.
I don't know how they'll have rankings, but like you gotta go like 70s and below.
Yeah.
Like
So yeah, I think that is going to be incredibly fun and getting to argue with each other and then also bring it back to the podcast and just talk about the bullshit that we deal with on that game. Should make for some great content, I think. So,
yeah, yo, did you? Speaking of the game, did you see the post of I forgot what the lineman like what team he was from? I feel like it was like Clemson or something. But one of the linemen, I guess they showed like running through a tunnel and they made him look so fat, like unhealthy fat. Like his ass was huge and like he had like jelly rolls for days. And the guy like posted, he's
oh
like, "Hey,
yeah.
it's work. Like I don't look that fat."
Yeah, I'm not that
It's
fat.
like, yeah. I was
I
like,
just
"Oh,
feel
that
that.
poor guy, poor guy." Oh my God, dude. I feel like it was Clemson. I sent it to my buddy. I'll check it real quick while you guys go.
Jesse, so if we do the 70 and below team, I'm probably going to choose Idaho State University or University of Idaho. What team are you thinking you're going to play as?
Well, I can't be the Aggies because I'm pretty sure they're going to be
Oh yeah, they're going to be
in
loaded.
the 80s or so.
Yeah.
Probably like, hey, I'll go with Navy. What are they
I
rated?
fucking knew it. I knew it because that thought was also on my mind.
I just
Running the
was
triple
wondering
option.
I was just wondering who was going to get to play as
With
Navy
those,
because we're going to probably have like Brett and us and probably a few other guys we served with. So
Hmm.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of
I,
people who are
I
like
just
I want Navy.
I just want to play with those cool submarine helmets.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wonder if that'll be
Yeah.
an option.
Yeah, I wonder if like
Hope we get
Oregon
make
like
things cool.
jerseys, like the combinations will be there.
Well, because
Yeah.
back in,
Or if you
I
have
mean,
to
even
like
on
unlock
Madden, you
them.
can like put what helmet you want, what jersey you want, what pants, like make your own combinations.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Well, like I'm saying, like, will they have like all the combinations or just like the generic ones? Like, would it be like this, like all, like think of all like the last like 5, 10 years of Army Navy games, how many
No,
like
they're gonna.
combinations they have?
I think they'll probably have like a lot of the
The
Army
most recent
Navy
ones.
ones. Yeah, probably like the most recent ones, and then add them. But they're gonna have
Well,
75.
I wish they had the fucking ones with the ships on them for like each group. You know, when like the linemen were like the carriers or some shit, and like the
Hmm.
receivers and the running backs were like the fucking destroyers. Like feel like that, like that was fucking dope. I like that shit.
Yeah,
yeah, true.
yeah.
I know all other sports games have like all the jerseys that the team has ever worn, so it wouldn't shock me if NCAA had all of them too.
Hmm.
Yeah. I can definitely see them like at least putting a majority of them, like because I know like Oregon has like fucking what like
They got like a
50
new one
million
every year.
combinations. Yeah, they have like a bajillion combinations of so like they'll probably hit like the major ones for like a team like that, but like like Colorado or some shit, they'll be like, oh yeah, Colorado has like 5 jersey combinations, so here you go. So I think somebody was like saying like if they don't put the mascot mode in, that people are gonna riot.
Oh,
Do you
dude, they
remember
have
that
to.
mode?
Yeah, they have to have mascot mode. It's not NCAA without it.
Yeah, I was like everyone playing as pine trees and fucking shit as like Stanford and like
Dude, if they don't have that, I will cry.
yeah, I was like you gotta have that. That's a cornerstone of NCAA, dude.
Mm-hmm. It is. It really is. Um, all right, well, let's wrap this up with our would you rather. And
Would
today's
you
sports,
rather?
yeah, today's sports would you rather is would you rather watch a regular season game courtside or a high stakes playoff game from the rafters?
Hmm.
I think I'll
Um.
go with high stakes playoff game rafters.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much on the line there. Like, I agree. I would definitely want to be at that playoff
And
game.
Yeah.
those arenas aren't that big, so like you still get a good enough view, and you're just part of the atmosphere. Like there's no other atmosphere that's like playoff atmosphere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I
Mhm.
mean, I sat down for a regular season game like a long time ago. I took my brother and my dad to a Knicks game, and we sat behind the glass. And like, don't get me wrong, it was a good game, but it was like the Cavs without Kyrie by himself. That was when Kyrie was by himself, and it was like Kyrie didn't even play that day, so it was just like the Knicks versus the fucking shitty Cavs,
Mhm.
and like it was cool to be down there, but yeah, like you guys are saying, like there's nothing like playoff kind of atmosphere,
That's why I want to go to
and
like a Bears playoff game so bad because I've been to a few regular season games. I want to go
mm-hmm.
like my one of my dream games is just like Bears playoff game at Soldier Field, and I want it to be like 10 degrees or colder. And I just
Oh
want,
yeah,
like that to me is like my dream football game. Either that or going to like Bears Packers in Lambeau Field when it's like 2 degrees. What but
yeah,
playoff football is so electric already, and I haven't watched playoff football like, or like given too much of a fuck about it just because the Bears have been so irrelevant for so long
mm-hmm.
that I cannot wait for that moment where the Bears get to play at home in a playoff game and I get to go and it's just freezing cold, but you're also warm because of one adrenaline and two you're probably cheering your ass off because it's win or go home. So I would choose playoff game and I don't care if I'm in the nosebleeds either. Like I have to go.
Oh yeah, yeah. Even like when I a couple of years ago, I went up to North Carolina for the Rangers against the Hurricanes one year, and even just going to a hockey game, right? Like hockey's electric as fuck, and every time a goal was scored, like it sent chills down your spine, right? Like you get some of that for a regular season game, but I mean, there's 82 or 81 other games, so it doesn't have that same like juice flowing as it does like a playoff game or like super important series. Like even if it was like a week 18, like win and get in kind of thing, like that's also another high stakes game, other than like, week one against like the fucking Brown or the fucking like Panthers or some shit, you know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely playoff game, no brainer. No brainer. Plus like the nosebleed section is like where the true fans are.
Mhm. Yeah.
Dude, just you make you make your friends up there, dude. That's where all the miserable fans are. I mean, I can only speak for the Jets, but boy, that is a depressing section.
I agree. Um alrighty boys. Well, that wraps up episode 3 and we will see you next week.